Hi, this is Franz Cantor, Toon Talker, cartoonist and illustrator. I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Great. We've got actually from the archives of the Australian Cartoon Museum, the Marvel Treasury edition of Doctor Strange, the most mystical hero of all. And it's a deluxe limited edition of the Sorcerer Supreme with a cover by Brunner. And let's get into it. This is good. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different artists in here. We've got featured artists. I think we start with Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko, of course, Spider-Man fame and Doctor Strange, and also
And first artist of the series.
Yeah.
And he basically set the pace.
He set the pace. He kind of set the mood. He sort of designed a way how to show, magic and special effects in the comic. And kept this incredible amount of drama and almost a sense of horror and dread. So it's quite an amazing feat, given that this is a Marvel superhero comic, and he's a very unlikely superhero as Doctor Strange, because he deals with the occult.
And look at the colours. The colour range is even white in it as a background and stuff. Today it'd be all black. Pure black with effects.
Yeah, this was my second favourite villain in Marvel Comics, Dormammu. He's got this sort of face that's engulfed by this psychic flame, this incredible, what we call it. He's a hothead, definitely.
He's just come out of hospital and he's got his He's got his hand, a superhero walking around with a hand in a sling, and of course he doesn't fight. It's all the psychic fighting that goes on.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of occult here. The mystic amulet's missing. It's a sort of like who's taken it type of thing. And you see, there's no fist fights here. It's all about matching magic to magic. So physical force is not part of the Doctor Strange tool set. He is into psychic force. This is
and cosmic brawling.
Yeah, cosmic brawling. So this is incredible. Actually, the idea of the negative space, Dormammu being swallowed up by the negative space of eternity. So he's both in our realm and outside of our realm. So without using any 3D glasses or anything, you immediately get the impression of this immense depth, just by the way that he constructed these pictures. Again, how do you show them? It's like the creation of worlds, the creation of alternate worlds and other realities and things. The forces, the elements that populate Doctor Strange's explorations into the other worlds are amazing. The things that you see, the images that you see are incredible.
Yeah, this sort of time machine device.
Yep.
I think that was used in the classic comics time machine, which was different to the film.
Yeah.
The actual machine.
Yeah, it's kind of like a protective egg or a shape where you can see inside and still get the impression that you're protected from the
built-in bumper bars.
Explosion. Yeah.
And of course, this is where the romance starts.
Yeah. So quite a deep comic for a little 8-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid, and certainly started my interest in the occult.
Any psychic scarring occur?
I'm not sure if you'd say psychic scarring, but definitely this is not something that I could absorb at one sitting.
No, this is by Bill Everett, the famous cartoonist who did Prince Namor.
Prince Namor, yeah.
And
Submariner.
Yeah, Submariner.
So he has a style different to Ditko.
He was born in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, you can see this panel here is particularly of that era.
He's trying to do effects like Ditko, but I mean he ends up with things like that, which is pretty basic in a background like that.
Yeah.
But that's almost a Ditko background.
Yeah, the shadow in
And
the
that's
centre of the
obviously
face.
He's used those techniques. But it's got a totally different style, so that they just don't.
Yeah, what he's good for is storytelling. He's a good storyteller.
Yeah.
Ditko will marry storytelling with this incredible drama. There's no sort of action per se in either of them, but this guy's particularly good at storytelling. You can see a lot of the early Prince Namor styled faces. So there's a good example of it's almost a biblical frame. The storytelling is very of the era of the 1930s, 40s, early 50s.
This is telling a story, it's not the story.
Yeah, usually when you have a panel that's broken up here like a thought bubble, that usually means it's a flashback. It's like in what is it? Ted. What's that? Ted's Fantastic Journey, where they do the dissolve. Bill and Ted. Yeah.
And this is by Marie Severin.
Yeah, Marie Severin.
And when I say they're the people who do the drawing.
Yeah.
And there's this sort of technique which she brought that no one else had used before, which was very musical. I've seen it done.
The idea, when you're talking about inking, by the way, in these comics, inking, you pick an inker that complements the pencil, so it doesn't add anything new to the pencil that's not of the artist's original style. You'll see this particularly well done in a match of the inker with the pencils of Kirby later on.
Yeah,
so again, a different method of
style.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Some exploration of distortion.
Oh yes.
Different kinds. I think this is probably representative of sound.
Well, yeah, and it's it's like being controlled, a force field. It's trying to break out of it. That's why these all change.
So villains that are unlike the normal range of villains that you see in a comic. This is more of a exploration of Chinese mythology.
Yeah, that's right.
So a lot of drama.
Yeah.
A lot of drama. Yeah, Thum.
He pulls
the famous Thum. He
pulls
used about 1 million times.
He pulls his hair off.
Yeah.
And it all flames off.
Yeah.
And of course, when you need a break to sort out, to think about the plan, you go to Stonehenge and you sort of stand around and you think, now I know what to do,
Yeah. Yeah. And when there's just too much magic, that's all you get.
And then you end up with...
That's a very unmarvel...
the living tribunal.
Yeah. That's very... I mean, can you imagine me being a 10-year-old kid looking at this and thinking, what on earth have I stumbled onto?
And now we have Dan Atkins.
Yeah. So this is
he,
more...
He gives it his...
this is more, I think,
go.
probably... Dan Atkins probably did some horror comics in his time. Because this is very... extremely dramatic. Again, classic storytelling methods.
Yeah, just
yeah.
And all this is very... you hardly ever see that in a comic.
Yep.
They're Freudian comics.
Yeah, definitely. So, this is him. Psychic battles are the order of the day in Doctor Strange. Psychic battles.
And that's Nightmare, that's his name.
Yeah. And this is Doctor Strange's astral being.
The stuff of dreams.
Yeah.
And so there's this horse that's got not much to do with the story, it's a great splash page. So he's caught up in this the power
the vortex.
The power of Nightmare.
Yeah.
And he's not himself because you can't see through him, he's just a...
Even as an astral being, he sweats.
Astral beings...
They perspire. I don't know. I think they perspire.
Sure.
Very, very dramatic. Beautiful
big
use of
panels
blacks.
too. Big panels.
Yep. Lovely
Less
big
drawing.
panels.
Less drawing. Do you think that influenced the howling?
Possibly.
And of course, we're back to Ditko.
Yes, so in another sort of a typical villain of Ditko's,
Baron
this
Mordo.
cigar smoking
Yeah.
or cigarette smoking
He
villains.
doesn't look like a villain, does he? Just
Yeah.
looks like a businessman or something.
Cigarettes and camphors burning
Yeah,
offer a
looks-
beautiful
Looks like a Hollywood
entree into
producer.
the
And of course, all the small panels.
the drama
whereas
of the
everybody
air.
else is doing incredible things with panels, but
yes, indeed.
this is the storyteller. This
Yeah.
is the Ditko, the storyteller.
Well, he's a master storyteller
Yeah.
because you can see the amount of energy that he gets into. It's not just exposition here.
Yeah.
It's exploring the inner workings of the character, of the mind, peeling back the skin. So finding out the reasons for, the reasons for the points of the story. There's a beautiful picture of Doctor Strange, very minimal.
Very sophisticated. And here they are racing. They just look like they're just
Yeah.
floating in space, but they're racing.
Yeah. So he's
And it ends on...
Ditko's done quite a lot of ghosts. He used to do, I think, Charlton stories, horror stories and things. So he was quite familiar with this concept of out-of-body experiences and all of the smoke and things,
Atmosphere. It's the cheapest way of getting atmosphere with smoke.
Yeah. So to complement the cover, Bruner's beautiful cover, he did a lovely poster in the centre.
And this is drawn by Gene Colan.
Gene Colan went on to draw. He did actually a lot of
Dead Man.
Doctor
Sorry,
Strange.
No, yes, but he did. What's his name?
Tomb of Dracula.
He did Daredevil. And
Daredevil.
Tomb of Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, Tomb of Dracula. I liked particularly, quite a lot. Actually, it shared a lot of the
With Doctor Strange.
a lot of the qualities of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Especially the
Cloak, except it wasn't sharpening up the top.
Yeah, a lot of the material, the dynamic use of material
Yeah.
in the shots.
And notice the frame shapes.
Yeah, the frame shapes, also the frame angles, the use of movement.
Vertical movement.
Yeah,
That's one panel throwing it all the way down.
so it's a lot of design ballet going on.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
And they're always...
So you would never have a clear shot, usually, of a face. The face is arbitrary. The most important thing is the
movement in the background.
movement of the character.
Yeah.
There's a character sort of exploding in a writhing mass of energy.
Here's the hand, and he's just dropping the book.
Yeah.
And you can see the book is disappearing, so you can see through the pages.
Yep. The text is vanishing. This is a typical Colan where you see things that are half seen and things that appear in the spirit world. He used to do the spirit world quite well. Have these ghosts and goblins and things that appear in the same frame, trying to break through into the reality.
It's interesting, the early use of black backgrounds.
Yeah. So this is again another typical Colan. Where the figure's pointing at something, and what's he pointing at? The eye. So everything else is sort of rendered in movement.
He uses his hands a lot.
Yeah. Well, he drew hands extremely well. I mean, even tiny hands. They had a Gene Colan had a way of doing them that were his. So again, this is more flame, right? Never went into the Kirby Crackle. He had his own symbols, his own style, his own method there's a bit of Kirby Crackle up there. He had his own method of usually his own method of visual storytelling.
There's an independent band in the States.
Look at the dynamics.
Kirby Crackle.
Yeah, look at the dynamics of this layout here.
Yeah.
It's like broken shards of glass,
Yes,
where every
yeah.
shard is a separate image.
And it's all about time too, like a broken image in time and showing a different aspect. Like if you look at the
it's still
face in a
comic book method, left to right
Yeah,
and top to bottom.
yeah. Confusing, but yeah, that's right. Left to right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a master storyteller, a master of the art of comics, of sequential art. So when he does explosions, of course, they actually look and feel like explosions. You can actually feel the vibration. If you put your hand on it, you can feel the vibration of it.
Bits dripping off it and.
And this is, of course, the genesis of Doctor Strange into a more like a heavier character. Yeah, again, the panels are incredible. It's like broken glass. He used to do that with Dracula as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is brilliant. In fact, I think Dracula is also a Marvel title, Tomb of Dracula. This is an incredible shot.
These are Norse characters.
Divine Odin, Ymir, the frost giant, the fire demon Surtur. So there's a kind of a lending of the mythology of Thor.
Crossing over?
I don't know if they're crossing over. There's certainly some kind of
they weren't connected,
influence.
They were never connected to their black arts. Their mythology.
Yeah, well, the idea of Doctor Strange being a master of the black arts is a sort of it's a storytelling method to actually do anything. So travel in space, travel in time, not time, travel in other dimensions and things. Who did this?
This is Brunner. This is Brunner.
Frank Brunner. Yeah. Very cool. So, Brunner's got a very
everyone's got their take on the
storytelling
character.
style.
The film's coming out. Do you want to talk about your psychic scars from as a child looking at this stuff?
Well,
just go back.
I've definitely
It's a
been
really scary
influenced.
image. Very scary image for a kid.
Yeah, I guess going from here to Tomb of Dracula to Dracula, Hammer films and things like that, and exploring horror films.
But specifically
And also
Doctor
the
Strange.
occult. Well, Doctor Strange
As an 8-year-old.
gave me an interest in the occult because I was fascinated by that. I've never heard or seen anything like that before. There's the great Dormammu again.
He's easy to draw.
Yeah. Yep. So again with the broken, it's hard to sort of. There's a lot of dynamics in here. There is action in it, but the action is really in, a battle of minds, a battle of wills between the good and the bad. You could see that in their faces where they're.
It's
dripping
dreamlike.
with
It's
sweat.
dreamlike. It's dreamlike. It's not like an ordinary superhero fist fight thing. It's
So
dreamlike.
it's a struggle that's both physical and mostly internal. The struggle's internal. Here you see him leaping out of his body again. So, Strange, what art thou doing? So,
He saved my life, so
have a
I
very
could end
biblical,
his.
very biblical text, very biblical conversation here. Yeah, extremely dramatic.
The face comes in a tree and a rock.
Yeah, so you'll see elements of other stories enter into Doctor Strange here and there because it's quite vast, the adventures that he has.
Yeah, I wonder these are the covers from the original comics, and I just wonder what the film will be like.
Well, the film is obviously created for a new audience, so it remains to be seen. It'll be out in probably a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
So definitely see it. What would you say? Well, how would you rate this in terms of?
I think it's one of the
Doctor
best.
Strange
I think
anthology.
it's one of the best Marvel Treasury editions they ever put out, and I think it's great because it's the same characters, all different styles.
Yeah.
And all the backgrounds and stuff. It's always. I think it'll be, it'll always have a fascination.
Yeah.
Always have a fascination because you see what he set up. and then it became darker and darker. And
For me, though, it's always going to be Ditko. Even though I love Jean Collan, it will always be Ditko as the master of the master of the master.
yeah, well,
Black arts.
he got more bang for his buck
Definitely.
and less drawing.
Yep. Okay, well, we'll see you next time round.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.